Alright, starting with my first project, I'm going to use one of these Dollar Tree wooden circles. I'm going to start by removing the tag. The colors I'm going to use throughout the video are the Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, the Waverly antique wax, and some white. I'm using this acrylic paint. This sign, I'm going to paint it 2 different colors. So I'm using some of these Dollar Tree painters tape to tape it down, then paint it. I am going to do more than half with the black, and then on the other side, I will be painting it with the antique wax. Once this is dry, I'm going to remove the tape. Now I'm using the same tape but the other side, and I'm going to place it right where the line's at. And now I'm going to paint this side with the Waverly antique wax. Alright, now that this is dry, I'm going to remove, oh man, I missed this. For the wood circle, I'm going to add hello winter, and for the word hello, I'm using this wood plate that I got from Walmart. It was under $2 for this hello, and look how thick that it is. Now I am going to paint like only the top of it white, so I am going to use a tiny brush. Now I'm going to carefully paint only like the top part. I don't want none of the white to go on the sides. As you can see, this is kind of sheer because it is acrylic paint, but if you want this to be darker, use the Waverly chalk paint in the color white. I'm going to paint all of the snowflakes white, but only like at the top part. I'm going to try to paint them carefully and try not to do the sides. While everything's drying, I'm going to add the word winter. Now Dollar Tree carries poster sticker letters that you can use. You can also use the wood letters. You can use your Cricut to cut out the word winter, but I'm gonna show you this method where I'm going to transfer this with a pencil. Now I did print this out. The font I used was King Basil, and I used the app Pick Collage. I flipped the paper around and I started to scribble on the back. So now I'm going to go with my pencil and start tracing it. Now I'm going to remove the paper, and this is how it looks from close up. I can see it good, but this works. I feel like it works on black too, but it's easier if you use like white. I think it even shows on the antique wax, but this is how it looks. Now I'm going to use a tiny brush and paint over this with white paint. And look how beautiful this turned out. Now I am going to add the word hello over here. So I messed up because I wanted the winter to be a little bit more up, or at least I wanted the hello to be like in between the 2 colors, but I added the winter way to at the bottom. So I'm going to just add the word hello on the black section. To decorate this a little more, I'm going to add some snowflakes just here and there. And this is how it looks. Now I'm going to add some of this greenery. It is from Hobby Lobby. It was $3.99, but I got it for like under $2. It was on sale. So I'm going to start by removing some stems off. I think I'm only using 2. Yeah, I'm gonna use only 2 of them. I'm going to glue them there. But before I glue them, I am going to add the string back on there. Using this Dollar Tree burlap ribbon, I am going to make a bow. And that is it for this beautiful hello winter sign. For my next project, I'm going to use one of these Dollar Tree wall shelves. Dollar Tree carries wood snowflakes. It's a little pack of 8. I'm using one of these. I'm going to put it on one side, but I'm going to just place it here because I want to see to where I want that to be, and then from there I'm going to add a piece of the painter's tape, because from here this way I'm going to paint black, and on this side I'm going to paint with the antique wax. And look how pretty this one looks, since it has the wood details on it. Now I'm going to start decorating my sign. I will be using this Dollar Tree Believe sign. It is wood, and I'm going to paint like the top part white. I'm going to start by adding the word believe on this part. On the other side, I'm going to add the snowflake. And on each corner where the little holes are at, I'm going to cover them up with these little snowflakes. I'm going to add some greenery, so I'm going to cut some little stems off. Going to add them here and add a small little bow. And that is it. Look how beautiful this believe sign turned out. my next project, I'm going to use one of these Dollar Tree Snowflake ornaments. Alright, so I do want to cut like this part off right here. I'm going to mark down where I am going to cut. And this is how it looks once I had cut this. I did cut that part a little bit off. It was an accident. But now I'm going to paint this black. I'm going to reuse this canvas frame that I had. I got this from Ross a while back. It was $3.99. I did paint the frame using the Waverly Antique Wax. I'm going to add the snowflake like this. Now in the center, I'm going to put Let It Snow. For my next step, I was planning to use these letters right here that I got from Family Dollar. This pack was only $1. But I realized that they were too big. So then I was like, oh, I can use these that I had right here. But then I don't have all of the letters. So I decided to use my Cricut. And I cut out the word Let It Snow, which I am going to add right here in the center. But first, I'm going to add this first. And then I'm going to glue the snowflake parts. That is it. I am not adding no greenery to this. I think it looks perfect just like this. Look how beautiful this turned out. I'm going to use 3 of these bamboo cutting boards. These are from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to start by removing the wrapper. Alright, so this is going to be a 3-piece set. Starting with my first cutting board, I'm going to paint the sides with some black chalk paint. I'm using these little sponges that I got from the Dollar Tree. At first, I tried to be careful and not to paint like the top part with the black, but at the end, I just kind of distressed the edges with the black. Now I'm going to use the Waverly Antique Wax to paint the top part of this cutting board, removing some of the excess paint with this shirt. For the other 2 cutting boards, I'm going to paint the top part black and the sides with the antique wax. Now that everything's dry, I'm going to start decorating the cutting board, starting with the one that's going to be for the middle one. Is this one that I painted with the antique wax at the top. I'm going to add Let It Snow using these poster sticker letters that I got from Family Dollar. Now these are a little bit smaller than the ones that Dollar Tree carries, plus the font, it's a lot nicer, well at least for me it is. I was going to add Let Us Know more in the middle, but I decided to move it more down to add some greenery at the top. Now, as you can see, I didn't add the O. That is because I'm going to add one of these Snowflake stickers that I got from the Dollar Tree. They were kind of glittery and I painted over them with white so it can remove the glitter. Now I'm going to add the greenery, which I'm using this one right here that I got from Walmart. I'm actually using two different ones. I'm going to start by adding this first. Then I'm going to add this other different one right here, which I cut in half so I can use one on each side. To finish this off, I will be adding this bow that I already had. And look how beautiful this one turned out. Moving on to the other two cutting boards, I'm going to add these beautiful snowflakes. Now I got these from Dollar General. They were just $1 each. These are some Christmas ornaments. I removed the string, and where the string was at, there was like this little hole, so I cut that off. The next thing I did, I just glued them one on each little cutting board, and that is it. Look how beautiful this 3-piece set Let It Snow sign turned out. For my next project, I'm going to use one of these wood hanging decor signs that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to start by painting the center using the Waverly Antique Wax. Using the Dollar Tree painter's tape, I'm going to add one at the top and one at the bottom to paint the sides black. I let this dry for a couple of minutes, then I removed the tape, and look how beautiful this wooden circle looks. Now I'm going to add this Season's Greetings DIY kit that I got from Michael's. I got this on sale for under $1.50. I am going to paint this using some white chalk paint. Once this was dry, I glued it where the antique wax was at, like in the center. To decorate this, I will be adding some of this greenery, which I'm going to add at the top part. Now right here, I do recommend you adding the little hanger before you glue anything down. I just forgot to, but I will go back and add it. Now I'm using the Dollar Tree burlap ribbon to make a bow and add it to the center. And that is it. Look how beautiful this turned out. For my next project is going to be very easy and simple. From Dollar Tree, I'm going to use one of these large decor signs. Now I am going to cut just a little bit of this side because I want the holes not to be there. So instead of covering them up, I'm just going to cut them off. Now to decorate my sign, I'm going to use these snowflakes. I got this little hanging decor pack from Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint them using some white chalk paint. I then added some antique wax and I added way too much, so to fix that up I added some white and then distressed only the edges with the antique wax. So at the end, this is how they turned out. Like I said, this was going to be very easy and simple. All I did was just glue the snowflakes to this sign, and that was it. And the best part is that you can use this either vertical or horizontal. Starting with my first project, I will be using 2 of these Dollar Tree wood round decor signs. I'm going to remove the hanger and paint these using the Waverly antique wax. To decorate the wood circles, I'm using these large Christmas ornaments that I got from Dollar General. They were $1 each. Now I'm going to paint these white, but I want them to face each other. So I'm going to paint one of them the front part, and then the other one I'm going to flip it around and paint the other side. I'm going to glue these in the center using hot glue. To decorate the deer heads, I'm using this pick that I got from Walmart. It has like some faux snow. So I'm going to leave a little space in between them because I'm going to make a bow using the Dollar Tree ribbon. To finish this off, I'm going to add some hangers and add beads. Now this came with a string, but I have a lot of these little strings with a little clear, and so it's easier for me to add them. But that is it. Look how beautiful this deer decor sign turned out. For my next project, you can use 2 of these Dollar Tree wood sleds. Now, instead of using these, I decided to use this piece of wood that I already had. It is around 10 inches or 10 and a half. I'm going to paint this using the Waverly chalk paint. To decorate the piece of wood, I'm using this Dollar Tree craft bottle. Now I'm going to remove the lid and this sticker. And then I'm going to paint like an inch of the bottom of the bottle. Now to decorate this some more, I'm adding these Dollar General ornaments, which I wasn't careful when I tried to remove the string. I did end up breaking one of the antlers, but I end up gluing it back later on. These deers are already a nice color, but I decided to make them darker using the Waverly Antique Wax. And look how beautiful they look. Now I'm going to glue these to the piece of wood. I will be adding the deers on one side and the craft bottle on the other side. So because I didn't use the painter's tape, the line around the bottle is not straight. So I'm going to use some ribbon to cover that up. Using some of the same greenery I used on my first project, I'm going to cut several stems off and add it to my little jar. And that is it. Look how beautiful this turned out. For my next project, I will be using this Dollar Tree wood circle. Look how beautiful this is. Now I'm going to paint it with the Waverly Antique Wax. Only the top part. Now to decorate the wood circle, I'm using this deer head. Now I got this, I'm not sure if from Michael's or Hobby Lobby, but I did get it after Christmas. The price is $3.99, but I definitely did not pay $3.99. I will be taking the garland and the hanger off. This is already a pretty color, but I decided to go over it with some white paint. This ornament had the little holes where the hanger was at, but I am going to cover that using this dowel. I'm going to cut small little pieces. Now, in order for these to be straight, I am going to use the end of the dowel. And this is how it looks once the dowels are in. You can't even tell I added the dowels. Now I am going to add a little bit more white to the sides. Once this is dry, I am going to add this to the wood circle. Now I am going to add it more towards the top, leaving a space at the bottom to add some greenery. Using the same pick I have been using, or actually it's another different pick, but the same kind, I'm going to take 2 stems off and add them at the bottom of the deer head. I made a bow with no tails and added it there in the center. And that is it. Look how beautiful and cute this turned out. For my next project, I'm going to use some more Dollar General ornaments. These right here are some deer horns to come in a pack, and they are very glittery. Now before I paint these, I am going to remove the little circle where the hook goes, and then I'm going to paint them with the Waverly Antique Wax. One thing though I should have done first is paint them with white and then with the antique wax. So now I'm going to mark down where I want to make holes to this Dollar Tree piece of wood. I made the holes using a drill. Now this is how it looks. Before I add the horns, I am going to paint the top white. Once it's dry, I'm going to glue the horns inside the little holes. To decorate this, I am going to add a candle in the center, and that is it. Look how weird this thing turned out. Honestly, I wasn't sure what I was making, but I still love how this turned out. For my next project, I'm using this Dollar General little house. Dollar Tree carries so much little houses that you can use, but I had this laying around, which I decided to use it. Now I am going to take this apart. I tried to remove the paper, but I wasn't able to, so I just left it. And to cover that up, I'm using this scrapbooking paper that I got from Michael's, and then I'm going to simply just cut it to size and glue it. I will be painting these little pieces with some chalk paint, and I had this deer that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to paint it using the Waverly Antique Wax. Once everything's dry, I added the deer in the center and I added the little roof pieces back on. To finish it off, I added a jute twine bow, and that is it. Look how beautiful and cute this little house turned out. Starting with my first project, I'm using 2 of these Dollar Tree wood hanging decor signs. I'm going to start by removing the jute twine, and then I'm going to paint these using some white chalk paint. I did add a little bit of water to make the white look more washed out. I love the details this brush left the sign. Once these are dry, I'm going to flip them around. Now to attach these together, I'm using these popsicle sticks. I'm going to add 3 of them, 1 on each side, and I added a smaller one in the center. To cover the holes on the side, I am using these bamboo sticks, which I'm going to paint using this Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant. Once these were dry, I went back and I cut them to size. I will be gluing 1 on each side. Using these letters and number stickers, I'm going to add Sled rides. Now I got this from Family Dollar. It was just $1. Dollar Tree does carry poster sticker letters that you can use instead. They are different, which I am going to use in my next project, so you'll see how that one's look. And this is how it looks. Now to decorate it some more, I'm going to add 1 of the Dollar Tree little sleds, which I'm going to paint using the same Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant. Once it's dry, I'm going to glue it to the bottom. And then I feel like it needed something else, so I am going to add 25 cents underneath Sled rides. And then to decorate it some more, I'm going to add some greenery to the sled. To finish this off, I'm going to add a bow. And that is it. Look how beautiful this sled ride sign turned out. For my next project, I'm going to use one of these Dollar Tree wood circles. I'm going to paint it white. Once I finish drying this, I then use some painter's tape to add some lines to the sides. I added 2 smaller ones to the side. And this is how it looks. Now, using the Dollar Tree poster sticker letters, I'm going to add the word ski. Now I'm going to go back to the Family Dollar poster sticker letters and add the word Lodge underneath. Using the same greenery, I'm going to make like a line going one way using these little stems. The last thing I will be doing is adding the hanger, and that is it. Look how beautiful this turned out. For my next project, I'm going to use 2 of the paint stir sticks. Now, I got these from Walmart. 3 came in a pack and they were under $2. I'm going to make these more round at the top. I'm going to just cut the ends and then smooth it out using a scent sheet. And this is how they look. Now I'm going to paint these using the same Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant. Once these are dry, I'm going to glue these together, but I'm going to make like a cross, or an X actually, an X, not a cross. Using the same greenery I have been using, I'm going to cut some stems off and just add them to the paint stir sticks, leaving a space in between. I will be adding a bow. But before I add the bow, I'm going to add some little gloves or mittens. I don't know what these are called, but I am going to make them using the Dollar Tree car. I forgot what is it called, but I used this in one of my videos. I had some of this left over, but I got this white cloth from the Dollar Tree. It is a little bit dirty, but one side is only. Now I made like a stencil using paper first. After cutting this, I am going to trace it to my cloth using some pin. So this is the way I'm going to trace them. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do it on the other side as well. So I'm going to make 2 of them. I am going to cut them like together 2 in 1 like this, and then I'm going to fold them and glue them. I'm going to add a piece of string going from one glove to the other. Now this string, I did make it a little bit too big, so I do end up shortening it. Now to decorate this a little more, I'm adding some bows, 1 on each glove, and look how cute these turned out. Now I'm going to add these to this right here. I'm going to add them, and then I'm going to add the bow. And that is it. Look how beautiful this turned out. I will be using one of these Dollar Tree wood squares. I'm going to paint this black. And this is how it looks. Now what I'm gonna add to this is this Dollar Tree Snowflake, but first I'm going to paint it white. Once the snowflake is dry, I'm going to glue it in the center. So the next thing I will be doing is adding some of these Dollar Tree white beads to a piece of jute twine. This is going to be for the hanger. I used 10 beads in total. And this completes this beautiful snowflake sign. The best part about this is that you can use it now and for the winter. For my next project, I will be using another of these Dollar Tree wood squares, but this time I'm going to paint this white. For this, I will be adding Hello Winter. Now I am going to transfer this to my sign. I did use a computer paper, printed the word winter, then I flipped it around and scribbled the back. Now I'm going to tape it down first before I started tracing this. Now actually I used this last year. I saved it and it still worked. And this is how it looks. Hopefully you can see it here on the camera, but in person you can see it very clearly. Now using a tiny paintbrush and some black paint, I'm going to go over it. I do end up making mine just a little bit thicker. Now for the word hello, I will be using these Dollar Tree poster sticker letters. And this is how it looks. Now I'm going to leave mine just like this, but you can add some snowflakes like around the hello winter, like a small little wreath of snowflakes. The last thing I will be doing is adding a bead hanger. I'm using the Dollar Tree black beads. And that is it. Look how beautiful this turned out. Now this and my first project, you can use it as a set. For my next project, I will be using mostly all of the Dollar Tree snowflakes, starting with this one right here. Then I will be using these plastic ornaments. They come in 3 different sizes. I am also using the wooden ones. I'm going to start by painting the large snowflake and the wood snowflakes white. Once all of the wood snowflakes are dry, I'm going to start to glue them to the bigger snowflake. I'm going to glue them going down, but not in a straight line, more like of a zigzag. The reason I glue all of the wood snowflakes together going down is because these are sturdy compared to the plastic snowflakes. Those are very flimsy. And this is how it looks. Now I'm going to add the plastic snowflakes. I'm going to just add them like here and there to fill my little line going down. I will be adding a welcome sign, and for the welcome sign I will be using this Dollar Tree piece of wood, which I'm going to paint black. For the word welcome, I will be using these Dollar Tree poster sticker letters. These are white with some black outline. Now I didn't have an O, so I did use a Q. Before I glue the welcome sign, I do want to show you how it looks in brown. Honestly, I like the brown one way better, but the reason I went with the black and white was because my other projects were black and white. And that is it. Look how beautiful this snowflake welcome sign turned out. From Dollar Tree, I will be using one of these wood slices. I'm not going to paint this or anything, so I'm going to set this to the side. Now I will be using one of these Dollar Tree, or actually they're not from Dollar Tree, they are from Dollar General. These deer heads, and these are actually $1. These are chalk ornaments. I'm using one and a Jenga block, which I am going to paint black. I will be gluing the Jenga block on the back of the deer head. Now I'm going to decorate this before I add this to the wood slides. Using these Dollar Tree pine picks. I am using 2 of them, but I'm using like the tip of them. I'm going to just cut it off and then glue them on the head. I actually am using these to cover that little hole that the deer head has. Using this burlap ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby, I'm going to make a tiny bow and add it to the deer head. The next thing I will be doing is gluing this to the wood slides, but I am not going to glue this like in the center. I'm going to glue it more to the side, leaving a space on the wood slides. This is because this is going to be like a small little cute candle holder, which you can add either an LED one or a regular like fire one, but it has to be small. And I showed you 2 different candles that I use. But that is it. Look how cute this turned out. For my next project, I will be using 2 of these deer head ornaments. I'm going to start by removing the tag. Now, what I did here is, honestly, sometimes I just go ahead and start crafting. I sometimes don't even plan of what I'm doing, and I just go with it. This is one of them projects. So what I end up doing is cutting off one of the antlers. I wanted these to be the same on the deer head. As you can see, they are kind of different. So I'm adding this antler instead of the other one. Like I mentioned earlier, I sometimes don't even plan what I'm doing. And I ended up cutting both antlers out of one deer and ended up using this one. So I'm going to glue it, then I'm going to paint it black. So now I'm going to set this to the side and let it dry. I will be using this Dollar Tree wall art frame, which is honestly so nice. I'm removing the back and the picture inside. Then I'm going to paint the back using some white chalk paint. Actually, this is not chalk paint, it's acrylic paint. Once this is dry, I will be adding the frame back on. Using some of those Dollar Tree pine picks, I'm going to add some to the head to cover where I glue the other antler. I also added a bow that I made using that pretty burlap ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby. So now I'm going to add the head to my frame, but I did have to cut off a little bit of the bottom because this didn't fit in there. And that is it. Look how beautiful this turned out. For my next project, I will be using a piece of wood that I got from the Dollar Tree. The one I'm showing you right here is something that I already had. That's why it is painted. But the one I am using, I did cut it to 8 inches and painted it using the Waverly Antique Wax. And this is how it looks. So now I'm going to add this little hello wood sign that I got from the Dollar Tree. It was like in one of those little package, and you can find those where the stickers are at. I added this to one of the corners. The next thing I will be doing is using the leftover antlers, which I flipped one of them around and painted it black so they can both be facing each other like this. I will be gluing these on the back of the piece of wood. Then to decorate this a little more, I will be using some of these pine picks and adding them to the top little part, leaving a space in between them so I can add a bow. But that is it. This completes this beautiful little hello sign. For my next project, I'm using this piece of clay pot that I got from Walmart. It was 99 cents, which I painted black. I decorate this a little more by adding some jute twine, and I used some of the Dollar Tree floral foam to glue it in the inside. I will be making like a little pine pick little pot. So I will be using 3 packs of the Dollar Tree pine picks. I'm going to just place them here and there. And that is it for this beautiful planter. And that is it for today. I really hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Let me know down in the comment section which one was your favorite, because I would love to know. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.